Hey guys, what's up? Lunchtime live with Liv. Haven't done one in a while. Decided to just kind of come back with a vengeance with my live videos. I am really trying to not only grow my business, but to really kind of reach my fan and customer base in a different way. And so I think live videos is a really good way to do that. And I've gotten a lot of positive feedback from people regarding doing lives and talking with people about things. So today's topic is going to be, what is your definition of sacrifice? And I'll be really honest, I feel like this being pregnant this time has really given me a sense of empathy and really kind of made me look at other people's feelings and other people's lives and really made me try to understand a little bit more about how other people feel as they're going through life and they're dealing with things. And so I really want to get on the topic of sacrifice. And when I say sacrifice, I am going to be coming from that topic in the viewpoint of what you have to give up in order to provide for your family, but it could be applied to many areas and facets of life. And so in my industry, there is a word, sacrifice, that we hear a lot because we have to make sacrifices based on time and all of these things. And so it got me thinking about what sacrifice means to each person. And sacrifice is completely different to me than it is to someone else. There were times in my life where sacrifice meant something different in my younger years than it does now too. And it doesn't mean that I don't sacrifice. It doesn't mean that I don't give up something. It doesn't mean that I don't hurt as a result of giving up something. But what it does mean is that my level of sacrifice may be exactly the same, but what I'm sacrificing is now different. So I'll give you a little story. A lot of people already know this, but it's really kind of like my tagline, and what has made me understand the blessings that I have in my life is that when I was about 19, I was working 3 jobs. So I had no kids. I had no responsibilities other than myself and the bills that come along with trying to keep a household together on your own. But I worked 3 jobs. I worked 3 jobs just to make ends meet. And that lesson taught me something very important. In that lesson, these are the hours that I would work in the lesson that was being learned. I would work at a nightclub on weekends, promoting and doing the VIP section for tips. And I would do that from 10 o'clock at night until in the morning. And then on, I believe it was Sundays, Mondays, and Tuesdays, I would work for Prestera at the Drunk Tank midnights. And then I would actually get about 4 hours of sleep in between getting off from the midnights and then having to get up and go Monday through Friday working with small children at an after school program at one of the only inner city schools we have in West Virginia, which is actually where I learned most of my nonprofit stuff before I decided to venture out on it full time and on my own. And so I worked 3 jobs, and even working 3 jobs, there was a time where I made like $700 a month, okay? $700 a month, guys. And I was, had $350 rent, $250 car payment, $217 insurance. So I don't even have to go any further. You can do the math there. So there wasn't extra money for groceries. And like, this was the biggest thing, is that I didn't have any furniture. I had a bookshelf that somebody had already left there before I moved in. It was a little teeny tiny 1-bedroom apartment over top of a dentist office. And I had a 19-inch box TV from my college dorm room. And I had a futon mattress that a friend gave me because he didn't need it anymore. The futon was not attached. It was just the mattress. And I slept on the floor on the futon mattress. No shame in my game. That's where I came from. That's how hard I've worked to get to where I am today. And so when people, we all have different levels of frustration, and people do make snide comments. Oh, you don't know what it's like to suffer. You don't know what it's like. Honey, yes, I do. And I've worked very hard to get to where I'm at today. I didn't piggyback off of anybody. I've worked very hard with my significant other to have what we have. It's not like one of us gave the other person something. He's just very supportive and understands that in this time in my life, it's time for me to build. It's time for me to grind. And luckily, God provided someone for me that understood that and understood how important it was for me to follow my dreams and to make myself what I am. And he supports that 100%. I got lucky. Not everybody gets that experience, and I understand that. So it doesn't mean that I don't sacrifice now. To get us back on that topic, I do sacrifice. I sacrifice time, and this is what I want to tell you. Time freedom is something that once you get a taste of it, you are not going to want to turn back. It's almost addictive as a drug. I'm going to be very honest. I'm able to stay home with my son, and that doesn't mean that I sit around and I'm lazy, because trust me, I work every day. I have 3 businesses if you want to be technical. So I have a business that provides residual income. I have a business that allows me to use crafting and use my hands, which is the candles, the soap, the natural salves, all of the apothecary stuff. And then I have my consulting firm, which works specifically with nonprofits to help them get off the ground and help them understand how the grant world works and to get them grant funding in order to fund their programs. And so I used 3 things that I'm very passionate about in order to make my living. So I'm very passionate about natural health. I'm very passionate about the derivatives that come from natural health, which is how we got the candles and things like that. And then I'm very passionate about the nonprofit world because I like to help people. I like to see that what I'm doing every day somehow helps someone else. But this is what I want to say about that, is that the sacrifice that I was giving up before getting to this point was my time. I was going to work for somebody every day between 8 and 16 hours a day, and I was giving up all of my time. Before I had kids and before I had a family, I was giving up all of my time, and it didn't matter to me. There was a saying that I always lived by, and I'm actually sad that I lived by this, and it's time is money. I still agree that that statement is true, but time is money doesn't mean the same thing to me now as it did before. Before it was time is money, so how much time can I work to get the most amount of money? And now it's the opposite. What's the least amount of time that I can work to provide my family with money? Never going to change. Everybody's going to have money. Money makes the world go round. We want to lie and say that it doesn't. It does. We want to sit here and be uncomfortable and not have conversations about money and not have conversations about finances, but it's something that people need to be on top of. I've always said that financial health is just as important as your overall health, or the inside of your body and the outside of your body. Being healthy is something that there's so many facets to that. It's not just biceps or a gut health or a probiotic or not using antibiotics or pharmaceuticals. It's not about just that. It's also, how do we encompass being financially healthy? How do we encompass healthy children with their mindset? How do we change our mindset to make our life what it is that we want? Why do we live being slaves to the grind or slaves to the system when we don't have to? And I think that's the reason why network marketing works so well for me, or running a business of my own and being an entrepreneur works so well for me, is because I have untrained my brain. I don't think like that anymore. To me, I literally write down in my calendar every day, how much money did I make today? Did I make $2.27? Did I make $50? Did I make $500? And I go by each day one step at a time. It even helped me to redo my finances and how I spend money. I use the Broke on Purpose envelopes, and I actually say, okay, this is how much cash you have. Once that cash is gone, you're not using it anymore. I don't use a debit card unless I have to buy something online at Amazon. And so again, I'm still making sacrifices. In order to start my health and wellness business, I had to give up a huge thing, which was Starbucks. I was not trying to give that up. That was one of my favorite things in the entire world. Do I not get Starbucks at all anymore? No. But I went to a iced coffee, which is $2.94, which is actually better for me because it has sugar-free flavoring and just a splash of half and half, instead of this big sugary drink that cost me $8 that I just drank all my calories in one day. So again, had to change that mindset. And I think that goes along with what your definition of sacrifice is. Before, I was sacrificing my time. Now I sacrifice maybe my level of expertise, or I do still sacrifice time, because don't get me wrong, when you stay at home, it is hard. It's hard to get on a schedule. It's hard to sit around and say, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, because sometimes you want to be doing other things. Like, I'm pregnant right now. I'd much rather be sleeping, but there's work to do, money to be made. And so that is where this all comes in and how it ties in. And the one thing that I really want people to get from this, and the value I want you to get from this video, is just because someone's sacrifice looks different than yours does not mean they're not sacrificing. We all have problems. There's problems at every single different level. If I was a millionaire, it doesn't mean that my problems would go away. It just means there would be a different set of problems I would now have to deal with. I had a lot of problems when I was broke and when I was poor and I was sleeping on a futon mattress on the floor in an apartment with nothing. But do you know what the difference between then and now is? And my God, I wish I would have learned that at 19 instead of 28 or 29. It's this. It was my mindset. My mindset was broke and my mindset was poor. That is why I felt like the world was caving in on me. I was on the basement of rock bottom. Nothing was working. It was horrible. My life was terrible. Woe is me. Oh my God, it's awful. And meanwhile, there's people out in the world who were homeless. I had a roof over my head. I could barely afford it. I didn't have any dishes. I didn't have a fork. I didn't have anything like nice or cool. And I remember when I got my first bed, I actually went to Second Seating by YWCA, and I think I spent $25 for a bed that you would literally find at like a camp for kids, and I put my futon mattress on it. It was the really light colored headboards and footboards that are the exact same level, and then there's like that wire metal piece in the middle that you can put the mattress on top of, and it's usually the college mattresses or those like blue mattresses that you sit. And here's Kendrick. This is my life now. Say hi. It was like one of those blue mattresses that you get from like colleges. That's the kind of bed it was. The only difference is my futon mattress was on top of it. And I remember each level that I went up, like I just became more thankful. No matter how raggedy or ratchet the situation looked, I was just thankful that I wasn't sleeping on the floor anymore. And it was then that things started to change for me. So it's been like, it's been about 12 years that it's taken me to completely switch my mentality around. And as I've changed that mentality, and as I've changed my thought process and changed who I wanted to be and what I wanted my life to be like, I was able to do that by shifting and changing my mindset. So just understand that if your sacrifice is, the 19-year-old girl in the tiny apartment with nothing to your name, or your sacrifice is this big wig person in corporate America who makes a lot of money, but their marriage is falling apart and their kids fight all the time and their house is very unhappy and there's a lot of unrest. It's all in between. We all have a different type of sacrifice. And for me, I was sacrificing all of my time and not enjoying any of my life. And that is what I wanted to change. It didn't matter how hard it was for me to change that. That is what I wanted to change. And I've watched myself do that. I've watched myself grow, and I've actually surprised myself. I had a journaling exercise that I did last March when I went to a conference. And she said, I want you to go 1 year ahead of today. And I want you to write what you think your life is going to look like then. And I will tell you that there were 4 major things that I wanted to see happen in that year. And out of those 4 things, 3 of them have happened. One of them was me being pregnant with my second child. So don't ever underestimate the power of your mind. And don't ever underestimate the power of what you put into this atmosphere by opening your mouth or thinking things. Because they are absolutely directly correlated. And if someone tries to tell you that it's not, it's because they can't see that vision and they don't live their life in a way in which they don't think their mindset is affecting them. And I promise you, if you're walking around negative Nancy every day, it's going to be negative Nancy every day. So cheer up, Buttercup. It's going to get better. And just think positive. Be positive. Exude everything it is that you want. A mentor of mine once told me, I don't care if you have $2 to your name or you're a millionaire. If you want to be a millionaire, you walk around like you're that freaking millionaire, and one day you're going to see it happen. I keep going every single day, and it isn't about the money. It's about the fact that I want to be able to build a lasting legacy for my children. I want my children to be able to look at their mom and say, sorry, I was checking time. I have a conference call at 1. I want to be able to look at my children and say, I did this for you. And I want my children to be able to look at me. I want my family to be able to be doing my eulogy at my funeral and say, hey, guys, we were proud of her. Look what she did for our family. I don't want it to be about money and all of those things, but money does come with it, and I absolutely will take it if it's available. So today, whatever your sacrifice is, understand that it's part of the hustle. It's part of the grind. You cannot make it where you're going without the sacrifice. So I don't care, again, if your sacrifice is the little lady sleeping on the floor or your sacrifice is big house but lonely and empty. Everything in between whatever the sacrifice is, you're still making a sacrifice, and your life will one day be what it is that you need it to be if you keep pushing, you keep your mindset where you need it to be, and you stay positive. So I'm here with you on this grind. I'm sacrificing too, and just remember to be kind to your fellow man. You never know what somebody's going through. A person could be walking around every single day with a smile on their face, and you know what? They could be absolutely depressed inside. Smile at somebody. Laugh a little. Talk to that person you don't know at the grocery store. Who knows what'll come of it? Who knows what network situation is going to happen with that? Who knows who you're going to meet? Who knows? That person that you decided not to smile at yesterday could have been the exact person that you needed in your life at this very moment to fix whatever it is that you're going through. That could be your next connection that leads you to the next big thing in your life. So just be open and be kind, and remember that we're all living this life together, and we're all going through our own things. So you guys have a great Wednesday, and I'll see you later. And hopefully we'll start doing some more lives. I miss you guys, and I think it's really, really good to be able to talk together, and I love to see your comments and your positive feedback. You're welcome, Jonathan. I appreciate you watching today. I tried to give everybody a little hope and a little bit of positivity every day. So you guys have a great day, and I will see you on the next live. Bye.